Okay, so you want to make rules. Here's how it's done. First, you gotta understand the system that you're up against. In this case, it's British rule. And they rule through a bunch of acts, like the Stamp Act, which says that we have to put stamps on all of our papers and pay a tax. And the Townshend Acts, which are a bunch of taxes on stuff like tea. And the only way we can do this is by having representation in Parliament, which we don't have. So that's number one. No, two, you need a plan, and the colonists had a pretty good one. They organized groups like the Sons of Liberty to protest the British. I mean, they were willing to get their hands dirty, like in the Boston Massacre, where the colonists were protesting British soldiers who were basically like, get off our lawn. And they believed that the government should be by the people, for the people, and that the people have the power to overthrow an oppressive government. And the soldiers fired into the crowd and killed several people. That was pretty intense. Okay, maybe it's not that simple, but you gotta start somewhere. And if you're willing to put in the work, you can make a difference. Just ask the British. They learned the hard way that you don't mess with people who are willing to stand up for what they believe in. They had a plan and they stuck to it. They were willing to make sacrifices and they were willing to fight. They formed militias and they trained and drilled. They elected leaders to represent them in government. And they wrote a constitution that outlined the principles of representative government and individual liberty. This document outlined the colonists' grievances with the British king and declared that the colonies were free and independent states. It was a bold move and it wasn't popular with everyone. Some people were happy to be part of the British Empire and didn't want to rock the boat. But the ideas of freedom and self-governance were powerful and they won the day. And they also organized boycotts of British goods. And then there's the Boston Tea Party, which is a pretty well-known act of civil disobedience. And the pursuit of happiness for the right to make their own laws and to overthrow an oppressive government. And they knew that it wouldn't be easy. They were up against the most powerful empire in the world, but they were willing to fight for what they believed in. And they established committees to enforce those rules. And this was all in preparation for. No, 3, you need to be prepared to take action. And these guys were. And then there's the First Continental Congress, where colonial leaders from all over met together and made their own rules for how they were going to govern themselves. No, 4, the big one, the Declaration of Independence. No, 5, you need to keep your eye on the prize.